Alright, so we got Caro Kann Blitz 5. This one started out really well and ended really bad. I'll go ahead and show it to you though. The ultimate. I love this. When they play e5, I get the advanced variation, which I almost always win pawns in. I get to play my bishop straight to g4 instead of having to wait here for his knight. This is just perfect. When the pawn gets out of the way, as long as the pawn is... Hang on, sorry, going backwards. As long as the pawn is here, I can't develop this bishop here because the pawn can take it. There's a lot of reasons why it's good to see the advanced variation. Usually I win this pawn and then I win this pawn, both. I would guess my win percentage in this situation is above 80%. And probably 15% draws or something. It's usually really good. So this is obviously going to be that statistical variance where I lose, and that stinks. But that's alright. I don't quite understand why he played b3 here. He hangs his pawn. I'll go ahead and take it, and then he castles. So now I'm up a pawn here. White's not in terrible shape or anything, but it's going to get worse and worse, or it should get worse and worse if I do this right. He defends his pawn and attacks g7 here. I can't develop my bishop right now, but that's okay. I'm just going to develop my knight out this way and either play it to f5 or g6, depending on what I see. He plays f4. Now here, if I play my bishop or my knight out to f5 right away, I'm not convinced I like this very much. The pawns look awkward. I have double isolated pawns here, and suddenly my center doesn't look too strong anymore. I'm not going to win this pawn with the f4 pawn there. I don't really like this very much. I'm up a pawn, but I'm not going to maintain my pawn advantage. So I didn't want to do that. So instead, I played my queen, just developed it naturally to c7. So in case I do eventually eyeball this diagonal, I can put some pressure on these two pawns. Maybe play a move like f6 with my pawn or something like that and try and trade up there. Those kind of variations could work well for me. And here, my opponent made another big mistake. He just hangs another pawn. So I go ahead and take, and then we trade. And now you can see I'm threatening his bishop. I think I could have done better by just taking with my queen here. I think that would have been better. Make him have to decide what he wants to do. Well, I don't know. He's got bishop f4. Got to play here now. And then I am kind of worried about discovered attacks and things. This is probably even. Anyways, I played knight takes, f takes, f takes. And he played knight a3 coming out to try and bounce my queen away from the defense of this knight. That's not going to work because I can just defend it outright. I saw that coming, which is why I played this knight move. So all is well. My knight's still defended. So here I decided to trade for his bishop. And the idea now is, since I have these doubled pawns, if I can manage to push this pawn up here and trade, then I won't have double pawns anymore or something like that. So I'm still doing fine. I'm up 2 pawns right now. But for tactical reasons, it's not going to work out that well. Here I made a big mistake. I neglected to see, for one, I neglected to see this check right here to lose this rook. I can't take with my queen and lose my queen. And I kind of just have to move my king. I lose the rook outright. He's going to be able to get his knight out if he wants. Not a whole lot I can do here. My opponent didn't see that either, and instead played a knight check here. And we traded material. And now I'm back to doing okay again. I'm up 2 pawns, but my position is kind of precarious with my king hanging open in the middle. I can't castle. I can't play my rook to f8 because there's bishop. I need to find a way to get rid of that bishop in a hurry. So I had an idea here. I thought I could pick up a pawn here if I take on d3, and then if he takes with his queen, I take his bishop with my queen, and then all is well. So this is what I was hoping would happen. And now I'm just up 3 pawns, and black's doing great here. Now, as it turns out, when I played that, if he plays rook a to d1 to cover that, what I decided to do is play my rook up to d8, and I thought at this point that if he took here, I could take here. If he wanted to trade queens, we could do that. Yada yada. What I didn't see is that he has queen takes g7 here, and now I'm really worried. I'm still up a couple of pawns, but he's got a lot of pressure on my king. You can see this rook's gonna come into play, and I'm getting real worried. So my first thought was defend that rook, and I'm pretty sure that was the right move. And then he played this, and I panicked, and I didn't know what to do. Excuse me. For some reason, I got blind here and missed the obvious move, and I started trying to figure out how can I defend that pawn again. I couldn't find anything, and I looked right past rook takes f3, rook takes f3. I didn't analyze. I just saw this and said, "Oh, I'm gonna lose," and didn't even realize that I got everything covered here. I'm fine. I'm safe. He can't. There's no checks that I'm worried about. For example, say I play something like this. Well, this actually is bad. Because that's a mate. But see, those are the things I was running into in my head when I was calculating, and I couldn't figure out what to do. Could have just done this, and I'm fine. Now, if he checks me here, I can slip out the back, and there's no more checks. He can't win this pawn. My queen's defending it. Remember, I'm still up 2 pawns, and I'll be able to mount some counterattack. This is going to be a really sharp game, and this is why I tend to like to try and trade heavy pieces off earlier in the game. I don't like end games with queens and rooks flying around because I miss tactics. I'm not very good with tactics, and I just miss a lot. So those kind of moves scare me. So anyways, I panicked here when he played queen takes g7. I made one good move, and then I missed the obvious rook trade. I couldn't figure out how to get out. I thought I was done already. So I picked what I thought was maybe the lesser of two evils. But everything just falls apart right here. One tactical miss. There's no, I can't take with my queen. I got to back off. Pins my queen to my king, and the game's over. There's nothing I can do to recover at this point. I'm completely lost. You can see. And I resigned. There's no point in trying to play this out. So anyways, that was a Caro Kann that went bad. You can see way back here, I succeeded in getting center pawns and things. I won a couple of pawns. I achieved my early game goals, but I completely screwed up in the end game and missed a really obvious tactic. So I hope you learn from my mistake. Keep an eye out for those rook trades. Keep an eye out for those open files. And don't get lazy, because I get lazy when I play. I don't calculate more than 2 moves ahead. I don't even think about, sometimes I don't even think about my opponent's next move. I think about my next move and just do that. And so I miss really obvious things like knight forks and rook checks and all kinds of dumb stuff that I don't see. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed it more than I did, because I hated losing.